which I'm pretty excited about. And I'm in a new shirt that I made. Thank you, Laurie. I love it. I say that because she sent me the DTF design. Isn't it amazing? And this is just a Kmart shirt. I've also got my laptop to the side so I can see things today. And we're just going to have to reach across the table to all of my piles. So if you're in my Facebook group, you would have seen that I was prepping yesterday. I went and found all of the tea towels I have purchased to do tea towel-y things. And we're going to make them in like a production thing. Hello, Christine. Now, I apologize in advance if the ads get weird. I don't know what's going on. I've set it to like the minimal ads possible. That's all I can really do. It works differently when I pre-schedule them to when I just pop up live. I don't know why, and I don't know how to fix it. Hello, Deborah. Sorry, I'm just finishing off my zucchini slice pie because we all know that I always get hungry. So I thought if I eat at the start, hopefully that won't happen. There's no promises, but like we try. It's fine. Alright, so this, I don't actually know what pattern this is. And I'm not saying that to be stubborn. It is a free pattern online somewhere. You just type in tail top a free pattern and it'll come up. But just to be a little bit extra, I did in fact make a template out of some red acrylic that I assume I bought it. Maybe I was given it. I genuinely have no idea. But it is so much easier to cut or trace or draw or whatever it is you're going to do. I actually drew this because the curves and me and curves with a rotary cutter are not really friends. So this is a template that I made with my laser. Actually, I made this with like my old laser, not even the new cool one. Still cool. Hello, Amy. Apple slices are yummy. Do love me some apple slices. Anyway, so if you have a close look, I forgot, these are the seam allowance guides. I meant to engrave them. I accidentally cut them, but it's not the end of the world. It'll be fine. But it's a good way to, like, you can set this up and see what the seam allowance is set to. And I can tell you it is 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter, depending on how you operate with your measurements. So I've made an acrylic template because life is easier. If you wanted to, and you were going to make them out of solid because I can't cut clear, you might also want to cut a window so that any fancy design you can kind of center. It is an option, not a necessary one. Obviously, I didn't do it. I could also go back and do it if I wanted to, which I'm still not going to. Cutting the hole will make, because you want it kind of just a little bit higher than here, so it will make this bit more brittle and more likely to break, which is why I probably didn't do it. Solid lasts longer. With that being said, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 tea towels to do, which is fine. It'll all work out. Now, if you want to, you can add like a strip of the fabric as well. There you go. Laminated is a great solution if you do not have a laser. And then double laminating it will make it nice and stiff. There's no, there's no world where there's the correct answer. You use what you have. I had cheap and or free, I don't remember, it was probably from the tip, acrylic. So I made something that fit. But you could definitely just laminate it. You could make it out of wood. Although if you're going to use the rotary cutter near wood, be very careful because it doesn't always work out the way you hope. No. If you wanted to, you could also put your magnet here to get the correct seam allowance. I thought about it very briefly. I don't think I'm that worried though. Should be right. Curves are a bit tricky, which is the other reason we're not doing that. Inner curves, you can't really use the magnet for. Stuff gets in the way. You should also maybe pin this, clip it, something. I have interfaced it with a medium iron just because I wanted it a little bit thicker. I also maybe should have done a thicker than that, but I don't know. We're winging it. It's fine. Don't overthink it too much, all right? I've got my bin here, which is a nice change. And we also want our zigzag scissors. Mainly to cut the curvy bits. I also got the stuff in the mail for my beeswax wraps. So there'll be a video on that. I'm thinking it could be one of my sewing videos, even though technically it's not sewing. How fantastic is the shirt? I love it so much. I'm going to buy more of these t-shirts. These are really comfy. They're in the athletic section of Kmart. So they've got this like weird mesh strip, but I just like the feel of whatever they're made of. It's like bamboo or rayon or something. It's like a super stretchy, comfortable tee. I love it. I will be getting more, and all the other ones will just look like this. I don't even care if they all look the same. It is comfy. I did do a sleeveless one for the other ones that I have, because sometimes I don't want to wear sleeves. It's a thing. Maybe I'll split it evenly between the two. Who knows? With me, you never know what I'm going to end up doing. Oh no, there's an ad already for a laser. I got the X-Tool ad. We should compare ads. Does everybody get the same ad? I've always wondered about that. Like, do they tailor the ads to you specifically, or are we all universally getting the same ad? Because it's me. Like, is it tailored to me and my channel, or you? Weird things amuse me. These are the things I think about. I've also got my rainbow chopstick. I have to be way more careful with this. Because I have, in a video, stabbed it through. It is a thing. You got a Loom ad, deodorant. Okay, so it tailors the ads to you. I don't know why they're sending me X-Tool ads though, because I already own 2 X-Tools. In saying that, I would happily own another 2. I'm just too broke to bother. I would love a CO2 laser, because then I could cut all the acrylic on the planet. And they have a DTF machine, like a printer, and I'm very jealous, and I would love one of those. It's not happening. It would be so cool. Right, so I'm going to do the same thing I do for my pockets. Very professional, I know. We're just going to tuck it in. You can iron this. I am not going to do that either. I'm going to finger press it. I'm a classy individual. So what I'm going to do, because I'm production doing this, I am going to sew all of the black ones first. And I am going to put all of the press studs on last. Now, for these, I actually prefer plastic press studs. There's not a lot of reasons for me to want plastic press studs over other stuff. But I like the plastic ones because they can't rust. These are going to get washed a lot, theoretically at least. I also have to fold these. I've never been good at folding them. So you fold them in half. So you got the wide bit. And then we kind of have to almost do like a pleat. So the center. And then out. And then the center. I don't know. I'm not good at the folding thing. We can't be good at everything, right? I don't remember how I do this. First off, we do make sure that it's level at the bottom because that'll look ugly. And then in the center. All right, there's the center. So let's put the center of this and the center of that together. And then we just need to fold it in. And then back out, maybe? That looks cute. And so then in and back out. So it overlaps. Is that how it's done? I really have no idea, guys. Turns out my brain doesn't know everything. Ugh. Now you reminded me that I have a bunch of towels to do. Yeah, but theoretically, it's not going to take too long, so it's fine. And at least you remembered now and not like a day before you needed them. Okay, so I did that wrong. Good job, me. Needs to be a little bit less. It's got to fit in. We'll get there. It's fine. This is always the hardest bit for me. See, it's just... Oh my god, I should get the iron. Looks good, doesn't fit. Still too big. In and out. And in. Like that. And out. Alright. Now that I'm happy with that, I am going to do like a single stitch to hold it in place. Because I don't trust that it's going to do what it's told. So we're just going to basically pin it in place. I regret nothing. At least now it can't shift while I'm trying to shove it in. And then we're going to use pins. See, so I'm shoving it in about 1/2 inch. Like that. And then stab in and then up. Now, there's a magic trick with pins. And I learnt this when I made aprons. When you want to like tuck something and hold it in place, you stab in and then go towards the fabric. So if I was to put the pin in this way, where I stabbed it down and out, this would move, causing ruckus, which we don't love. So we're doing it this way instead. Right, and you want to make sure that you're getting the back. And how fabulous is that? So then I don't know if I'm going to have it where it's smooth on the front and do it that way, or if I want the join. I don't need to decide now. I only need to decide when I put the press stud in. That's pretty much how that works. I'm going to fold the towel in half so it gets in here. If you're on a little domestic machine, you should roll this. Would make life much easier. I also got new racks. See here? We now have grid mesh walls for my markets. I keep saying we. It's me and all my alter personalities. That's also not a real thing for anyone that's worried about my mental health. I am just insane in general. I don't actually have multiple personalities. It's fine. Everyone relax. We also sew slowly there because that is bulky and I don't want to wreck anything. We're going to go around the curve. We want to go slowly around the curve so that we're not distorting anything as well. And I just felt myself then, I put my whole hand on it to take the weight so that it'll curve nicely. Just if anybody wants to know. And then down. Slowly over all the bulk. So this is a size 14 needle, which is apparently the smallest I should be going on this machine. And then we take that out. Done. One down, 9 to go. Luckily for me, most of mine require dark thread. So that's good. I've also got different ones. So this is like one of those like normally cotton ones. Most of them are like the previous one, which is a waffle cotton. But I do have at least 2 of the printed cotton. You can do whatever you want. I buy an assortment. Different people like different things. Some people like the microfiber ones. I personally hate them, and that's why they're not here. But some people really like the microfiber. It's personal preference. You can get printed tea towels with pictures and then match the top. You know, like Christmas is coming up. If I had thought about Christmas a little bit more, I absolutely would have ordered custom, like, spooky Christmas. But I also find, like, Christmas bags don't sell. We could do some decor, which I do plan on doing. For anyone that's, you know, here for the decor, I will be doing a few decor Christmas videos. Another thing you can do if you want to is pre-fold that up and then stitch it. I've seen it done. I'm too lazy to do that. I base them to make them behave. See? Yeah, see? I don't like microfiber. I like microfiber cleaning cloths, weirdly enough, but not microfiber towels. Even though they're both called microfiber, to me they feel very different. So not a fan of microfiber towels, only microfiber cleaning cloths. Really good for dusting. Zigzag scissors are your friend. If you do not own zigzag scissors and cannot afford a decent pair, don't buy the cheap ones, they never work. If you can't afford them, it's totally fine. You just want to take your snips and you want to go along and snip all the curvy bits. You can use scissors for that. Snips work better, or small scissors. Either or. Throw that bit in the bin. Those are good for dusting. See? Hello, Emma. I am not a fan of microfiber towels. So I've only got 100% cotton here. I will be selling these for $10 each. If they don't sell, meh, I'll use them. This is literally my theory lately. If it doesn't sell, it's fine. I'll use them myself. Yesterday, even though I wasn't supposed to be, I did a bunch of lasering. I have now lasered half a dozen of the Mimic chest boxes, and I made stickers, and they now have like a container, and it's all done. I just need to put prices, and I'm making my price stickers separate because I want it to be removable if people are buying them for gifts for people. And I've thought all that through. The downside is I went to buy sticker dots, and a pack of sticker dots is like $13, which is just ridiculous for sticker dots. So I have instead decided that I'll just print. I was going to like handwrite the prices on a sticker dot. I have since decided that if I can't find cheap sticky dots, I am going to print off a sheet in my printer of the sticker paper stuff and then just cut them up myself in squares. I nearly bought square ones, and I was like, why, when I can make them myself? It is probably quite stingy of me to not buy them, but $12 for like a bunch of sticky dots that, let's be honest, I'm gonna lose the packet before I get through 900 sticky dots. Like, it's just inevitable. Or they're gonna get wet and destroyed or something. So I just refuse to buy them. Nothing else can be said about that. All right, so this looks different size to the other one. I don't think I care. Just so you're all aware, I don't care. Right. Fold it in half. Find the halfway point. You could probably put a pin if you so feel inclined. Right. Pin, center, fold it in, fold it out, other side, fold it in. This one is easier to fold than the waffle cotton. Fold it out. This is also smaller than the other one. Not that that matters. But, that looks good. Oh, maybe a smidgy bit more. Ta-da! Right, we're gonna baste it because basting is our friend, and I'm lazy and don't want to have to add more pins, is actually what this is. We all know I'm lazy. It's fine. But look, no pins. Pop this in. La 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 la. Ha! Look at that. Fabulous. Nailed it. We want to put it in about 1/2 inch. And then grab some pins. I saw some pins the other day. They were flat and had bats on the top. I can't remember if I ended up buying them or if I just dreamed it. If they're not here by Christmas, I've dreamed it. Alright, so again, we're going to just, you know, you can roll it, look, roll it, just to get it under the machine. We love a bit of Jack Skellington, like everybody else on the planet. I've tried to do a mix. So I've got some skulls, some horror, some like pretty ones, which I know is very unlike me lately, but you know, you never know who's going to come with someone that prefers not horror and goth and gore and things. But everybody loves Jack Skellington, so this one will probably sell. And I've got a Lord of the Rings one, and I've got a book one for all of the book babes out there. I don't think too many guys are going to buy this unless they buy it for their book reading partner. Which is fine, whatever. Backstitch! These don't take long, and this is, again, why they're a great gift. I'm going to have to leave one to do as a Christmas idea. But still, good to go. Look at that, pretty. And what was that, 5 minutes? And that's with me stuffing about. I'm happy with the amount of thickness on, like, the interfacing. I do own a thicker one. I am happy I did not do the thicker one. Oh, look, there's a tag. Hi, Christine. I do quite a lot of lives by myself. But I'm impulsive and I'm very not good at planning my life, which is why I don't give you much notice. And I do apologize for that. One day I am going to get better at it, but I am who I am. You're all here anyway, so you must be half okay with it. I don't have any troll talking weird stuff to me, so I must be doing something right. But again, if you're doing the Christmas hampers, because I'm doing a... Okay, let me just start that whole thing again. For Christmas this year, I am hand-making hampers to send to the families of the people I'm doing. I'm not sending very many Christmas presents, because most of us adults don't do a lot of Christmassy presents, and the main focus will be the kids, but I'm going to send like a care package that's got a little bit of everything. So if you watched my video where I made the magnesium lotion, which by the way is amazing because I kept some for myself, I'll be sending those in with like one of these. So they'll get a like a hand towel. And I regret nothing. I think it'll be a great little additive gift. It doesn't cost much. Tea towels are what, like $2 or $3? So they will be, this is not their vibe. So I'm going to have to obviously go and buy things that are their color and their vibe. And that's fine. But a pack of tea towels is $5. And two of the people I'm sending to, their favorite color is blue. So I'm just going to buy a 2-pack of blue tea towels and problem solved. So I will be doing that as part of the Christmas gift. All kids are going to get like a bag charm for their school bags or whatever bag they carry. Little girls will be getting a charm bracelet. I asked the adults, they don't seem all that interested. I'm doing a pendant necklace, which actually is going to be one of my Christmas videos. So that's for one of the adults, but the other adults I spoke to, they're like, I don't wear jewelry, so that's a bust. Which kind of sucks because behind me I have the table semi set up with all the charm bar stuff. Hello, who have we got? Deb and Marion. Welcome, welcome. Marion instantly made me think of Maid Marian, and then the other day we watched Men in Tights. Love that. I do appreciate a good 80s comedy. I assume it was 80s. Feels 80s. Alright. So I'm treating this like it's my flute cleaner, and I am pushing it against all of the seams. It just works out better that way. Yoink! And then again, the tuck And then press it down. You can also score it on the edge of your table. This is a good alternative to having to iron it. And I did try to center this a little bit on both sides. It was a bit of an effort, but we got there mostly. Hi, Tammy. Welcome, welcome. Lots of people after I put up my just keep prepping, just keep prepping. What do? We prep. That's literally what my brain was doing while I did all of this. Okay, so this one we have to be thoughtful. The hearts are directional. So I'm going to put the fold at the back. Ooh, and I'm going to get rid of that bit of plastic. Make sure you get rid of them. You don't want to sew it inside. That's just annoying. All right. We can even find the center of this if you're that way inclined. Center, center. Fold slightly in so that it'll fit, ladies and gentlemen. You can also add a pin here if you're not feeling as confident as me to just wing it. Look at that. Holds it in place mostly. Just keep swimming. Right, that looks pretty good. Baste it, let something fall on the floor. It is not a Tory video without something falling on the floor every time. I also have decided to display these. I'm going to need to do another display setup because I have new things again. But these will be displayed by clipping to the side of the racking here. Because it's a grid racking, life makes it just that much easier. Hello from the UK, or in the UK. I am not so much from as, you know. Just keep swimming. The other option is you can gather this. It's just not really my jam. And I know it might seem weird to do skulls and hearts, but not everybody that likes skulls likes dark gothy things. So I thought I'd do like a bit of a balance. Oh yes, I love my plants. I love indoor plants so much. I actually want more, but I need more stands with which to put them in. This is my very dramatic peace lily right here. She is very dramatic. One day she'll be like, I'm dying, and wilt. And then I give her water, and then an hour later she's like, okay, I'm fine. Never mind. Ignore me. Very dramatic. It's not like she doesn't get water. I don't starve her or whatever. She's just dramatic. I'm also going to be, hopefully, I've got lots I need to do today. I was going to do all my baking yesterday, and then I got sidetracked prepping things over here. So that didn't really work out. So today I need to do some baking. I also need to go and pick up a key for someone. I'm doing a complete stranger a favor. She's a friend of a friend. She needs me to go pick up a key because her check-in is a certain time and her plane doesn't get in. So I'm just going to go do that for her. See, how cute are these? That's 3. Obviously, I haven't done the press stud. Also, you can do the press stud like in front or behind. I'm not sure it matters. What do you guys do? In front or behind? Answer that while I grab another lot. So that's 3. I'm doing all of the black ones at the same time because, you know, who enjoys changing over thread? Because not me. I have Christmas cactus. I don't know what that is. Oh, as in you got it at Christmas time? A Thanksgiving cactus and 2 spider plants. So, no, so these are, I've got double doors behind these curtains. I've got double doors just there, and then there's single doors on each end, and then the rest is all windows. So this is amazing. It's very light. I only put the lights on so that there's not weird shadows, but I can sew without all the lights on. And the tiles are black, which is both awesome and a nightmare trying to keep them clean. I hate mopping. They require a lot of mopping to look good all the time. So I can tell you right now, they don't look good all the time. There's more to life than mopping my floors twice a week. Not to mention, between the dog and the two boys, they are always traipsing droplets of water from the pool in and messing up the floors. Not super keen on playing that game with them. Thanks, but no thanks. Straight bits, we can always go faster, guys. So they open onto a deck. We have a 4 meter by like 12 meter deck out there. We're going to be getting a roof on it so that it's, you know, able to be used during summer, because you go out there and it is hot, so hot. So we do have a deck out there, and then we've got our pool, and we've got a big backyard, and then a big shed. We're also working on putting in some raised garden beds, and I am going to start growing all my own food. Whether that turns into videos on how I do, you know, food canning-y stuff, who knows with me. I might, or I might go, there's enough of them, and it takes too long to edit the videos. I couldn't tell you. But the plan is I would like to grow more of my own food. I'd like a patch of carrots. I'd like loofahs. I've got loofah seeds, so we're gonna get like an archway, and I'm going to grow loofahs so that at Christmas time next year I can make handmade soaps with the loofah in it. I wanted to do it this year, but life got in the way, and we haven't built the garden beds to put the loofahs in, because the loofahs need to be on like a trellis or an archway, and I don't want to half-ass it and then have to fix it later. So we're doing it properly, which takes forever, but I want loofahs next year. It's happening. And then I'm going to do handmade soaps with the loofah in it, and I'll do like colors and scents to match everyone. This year, I was going to do Fight Club soap. I found a Fight Club soap mold. If you've seen the movie Fight Club, you know what I'm talking about. The pink soap on the front cover. If not, you can Google it. You're all near a computer or a phone. And I bought the mold, and it's been delivered to the wrong house, and I'm fighting my ass off to get a refund on all this stuff that I got. I would have personally preferred the stuff I needed. It was all new charms for the charm bar, and I had a creepy hand that was going to be a holder. Oh my god, I wanted that so bad. And the Fight Club soap. So we're not doing soap this year, I don't think, because I don't have the mold. I'm very sad about that. I had plans. My brother would have got an absolute kick at a Fight Club pink soap, but that smelt manly. Oh, you've done zucchini, yellow squash, tomatoes, and cucumbers. So far, we do have like a bit of a greenhouse down the side. I have a really big broccoli plant. It's about that big at the moment. It's got no broccoli on it, but that's fine. We also bought a pineapple, chopped the top off, planted it like 2 years ago, and I have a pineapple that's about this big growing on it. I'm weirdly excited that I grew it from like the scraps of the one I bought at the shop. I understand that probably makes me insane. So cool though. So we're growing a pineapple. It's like a mouthful at this point, but I'm hoping it'll get bigger. I don't really know how pineapples grow. We've just been watering it religiously for 2 years, and it decided to give us a pineapple. I'm in the perfect climate for pineapples. I would also love watermelons. We've been growing butternut pumpkin, which some people call squash. That's delicious. We grow capsicum, which are green peppers, I think Americans call them. So we have grown some stuff. We've got a lot of chilies, which my husband is very weirdly happy about. Personally, I'm not into chilies, but whatever. See, I also tried to scent it, this guy, just to go back to this for a second. So yeah, anyway, I want to start growing a lot of my own food, because even though I am quite popular with you all, it does not pay bills. I just do it because it makes me happy. What really pays the bills is the markets. Which is fine. I don't get paid like influencers in America, like at all. And that's okay. I actually don't mind. I am who I am, and I enjoy this, and my husband doesn't really seem to care, so yay! I don't know why I'm currently doing the pins. You don't really need them, but now I've started it, I can't stop. So we line it up so it's just inside. We want it to fit, but only just. Right, and then we fold it back, and then that's enough pins. We're gonna baste it in place. But yes, anyway, I also am going to start, I need to make myself some moisturizer because the magnesium stuff is amazing as a moisturizer, but I probably don't need to put magnesium everywhere. So we'll be doing that. I also found something called an itch stick. So when you get like bitten by a mozzie, you put this like a lipstick. They make it look like a chapstick, but you put it on, it stops the itch. So I found that recipe last night. So I want to do that too. All right, that's the front. We're going to pick which, this one's the front because he's slightly more scented. I was obsessed with cantaloupe. Oh, I love that too. I would love to grow, when I was little, our house had an apricot tree. And so we used to just eat apricots like they were going out of fashion. They are now $14 a kilo at the shops, which is insane. But apricots require a cold snap, which I don't get in the tropics, so I can't grow them. That is the one downside to living here. I can't grow apples, pears, and apricots because you need the cold bit. They need to believe they're like in rest mode. But that's all right. I am going to grow citrus here. I know citrus does grow, so I'm going to get myself all the citrus plants. We've got a banana tree. Hasn't got any bananas yet, but it'll get there. We've also got a dragon fruit. We've got a couple of dragon fruit things, which also haven't produced yet, but they'll get there. I do have 2 avocado trees. So last year, we got avocados. Not a lot, but we still got them. So that was pretty exciting. It's a process, right? But I would like to grow as much of my own food as possible. Just because it's fun, and then I know exactly what's in it. Not that I'm really worried about pesticides. Like, I understand they're a necessary thing, but we don't use them at home. Like, we don't use them here. So I'll know that they'll be pesticide free. There's another one done. We're going to ignore this. You can iron this later if you need to. I'm not super worried. All right, let's grab the last black one, and then I'm going to change thread color. So you can either match the thread to the fabric or the tea towel. Like, if you want your threads to stand out, you could absolutely do a gray thread on this. It's got like a toad and stuff. It's very cool. Hey, Sandra. We also have a possum that hangs around. My dog loves to chase it back up a tree. It fell out of the tree the other day. Stupid possum. Fell out of the tree, and then my dog chased it back up a tree. But the possum's been eating some of our food that we've been growing, so I need to deal with him too. Not kill him, but like, I don't know, deter him somehow, because it's my food. These are so easy. You know how you can tell when something's easy to sew? Because I'm talking about non-sewing things, and my brain can still do what it is I want it to do. You could do less of a seam allowance if you wanted to. Takes more time to fold the tea towel than it does to sew the top off. Ah! Hey Tori, have you watched any of the Self-Sufficient Me videos? Nah. I absolutely have not, but I should. When I've got my garden beds, I'm going to get onto that. I also want a herb garden because I have a dehydrator, which is really fun. Oh, we have a red hibiscus tree in our front yard. Not the rosella type, but like just a normal tropical hibiscus. And I do dry the flowers and make myself hibiscus tea. I add honey and then put it in a jug in the fridge to have iced tea because I don't like hot drinks. That's delicious. That's all me. Ooh, maybe I should make little containers of those to give as gifts. I don't know. That could be cool. For the adults, kids obviously don't care. That's fine. I love my t-shirt. She's amazing. Or he, I suppose. Whatever. So I do plan on making all of these. I've decided they're not going on bags. I've decided they're all mine because they were sent to me as a gift. And my child has already confiscated the axolotl and the twisty fidget toy. And he tried to steal one of my skeletons. So I am keeping all of these for myself because I can see that all of my 3D printed stuff is slowly going to end up with my child. Except Chuckles. He can't have Chuckles. And for anyone who doesn't know what Chuckles is, I'll show you. Chuckles is stuck to my Scream Machine because he is Scream Machine appropriate. His evil smile made me think of Chuckles. So that's his name. I know it was a gift for me. Too soft on my child, it's fine. But I gave him the axolotl, he carries it around the house. So, you know. I also I say I bought it for him. I totally bought it for myself. The Big W has like a skeleton dragon that roars. So we called him Kelvar because my brain could only think of the name Kevlar, so I've just rearranged the letters. And I totally bought that for me, but I tell everyone I bought it for him because then I don't look like as much of a weirdo. Oh yeah, so the shirts are absolutely going to be for me because they're awesome. You could put it on a bag. You'd need a very tall tote for this size. But they're mine. I am just going to have lots of black t-shirts with horror stuff on them, and I regret nothing. I could put them on other colors, I suppose. I just don't want to. Maybe a navy, maybe a dark purple, but probably black. Not white. I can't keep white clean, and it would just be a waste. I live with messy, messy boys. White's not a thing that needs to be here. You could put it on a tote. It would have to be a very simple tote, but you could. I'm just not going to. Oh no, that was right. Okay. In half. Find the center. And I went with grey for this because I literally just don't have anything else. What are you gonna do? Do 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 do. Yoink. Yoink. You can do it without pins. You just gotta be, slightly more creative. It's fine. You also want to baste at 1/8 of an inch up nice and close to the top. We don't want it moving if possible. Stop it. All my snips are getting blunt. It's about that time of year. We should all treat ourselves to new snips. It's definitely starting to feel that way. All right. Do I want the cane toad on the front or do I want the snake and the toadstool? I don't know. I know it shouldn't be such a big deal, but it is. This was a scrap left over from a bag. I'm trying really hard to use up all my scraps. Oh, the top's stretchy. Oh my god, this is so stretchy. Look at it. What? I don't like normal cotton tees. This, I assume, is some kind of rayon blend or something. Where's the tag? I don't even know what the tag is. Probably said it on the paper one that you rip off. Couldn't tell you. What I can tell you is I only like really stretchy tees because I find them more comfortable. And I mean, each to their own. I'm not the boss of you. You can use whatever kind of t-shirt makes you happy. But I went to the cheaper section of t-shirts in Kmart. And they're all ribbed at the moment. And I didn't want to stick this on something ribbed. I thought it might wreck it. So there was that. How well would they work doing it with an iron? I don't know. I have never had a great deal of success ironing on things in sections, like DTFs. I personally have found, and this is probably my error, so don't, take my word as gospel, but every time I've done it with an iron, it melts and shrivels the transfer tape. So when I'm trying to iron it on in sections, I'll start here and then it'll shrivel up and be crap. It might be that I've got the iron too hot, although I set it to the same heat as the heat press. It's just every single time it melts and shrivels and wrecks the design, and then I spend 5 minutes trying to pluck it out flat to iron it on properly. So I personally will only do the heat press. It also helps that I have one. That's not to say that there's a magic way to do it with an iron. I just clearly did not master it at all. And I can see that it's most likely operator error. I really need to set that up so I push the foot and it lifts. It would make me so much happier. See, Grace still works with that, I think. How big are they? Little ones you could do with an iron because it's like a one and done. Otherwise, maybe lower heat for longer might be the way to go. All right. This is my box of domestic thread. I've got a blue and a blue. I'm going to run out of bobbins for all the colours I need, but that's okay. This is technically overlocker thread I've just been using. What are you going to do? This one is Resent 120 in colour, I don't know, doesn't say. Again, what are you going to do? So I'm going to put a plastic press stud because I have like 1,000 of them. And again, that's not an exaggeration. I kind of wish it was. It is not. I have about 1,000. See this? Plastic press studs. Literally about 1,000. I have 3 shades of blue, 2 shades of pink, 2 shades of red, orange, yellow, brown, and 2 shades of brown, white, cream, grey, black, 4 shades of green, 3 shades of purple. I literally have at least 1,000 press studs in plastic. And the only thing I really can think to do with them is this, because I'm not making nappies. No deal. So we will be using the plastic press studs because I have them. And I don't like to use metal ones when it's going to get washed a lot. Tea towels get washed like once a week, especially if they're just going to keep it on a cycle. So I personally feel that having those metal ones will eventually rust, transfer onto the fabric, and then nobody's going to want to use it. Whereas plastic should be good to go for the foreseeable future. I say should. There's always a chance I'm wrong. We've also only got 1 blue. And then I've got, I don't know, 2 green. I've got a few left. Might keep that one for another day. I'll just bring them all over. We're getting close to the end. So what I did to prep these, in my production sewing, I counted how many tea towels I had, cut double the amount of the interfacing, then I went through to match fabric to the stuff, and then I ironed all of the interfacing on at the very end. And that way I didn't have to have the heat press on too long, because it was 33 degrees yesterday. But in Townsville, it definitely feels hotter because of the whole humid and the sun. Like, standing in the sun, I got burnt in 5 minutes. So, did not enjoy that very much. It's also why I insisted we have a cover over at least part of the pool, because I am not going out there and getting sunburned all the time. I wouldn't use it. I use plastic snaps, but I put the female on before I stitch the towel. Ah, there you go. Too late for that. It'll be right. It is smart for you to do that. I am not that smart, obviously. Should be right. I kind of like doing it this way because then it doesn't matter if I forget. I won't have a different one. And I also don't make these very often. This is not like the main part of my business. The main two parts of my business are handbags and laser engraved jewelry. It's a pretty even split. I find that wallets don't really sell for me. I'm taking a bunch of clearance. I'm going to clearance all of my wallets for like 10 bucks each. I need to put them on the website. It's a process. But I want to take them to the markets this weekend and just clearance all my wallets for $10 each. And then I might do some coffin ones because it's the right crowd for my normal market. And I'm always happy to do custom requests. But I find especially younger people have all their cards now on their phone, and their phone case carries like license and money card, and everything else is an app or in an app. You know, I could just leave it like that. Literally have it in thirds the way they come. Never occurred to me till right now. But I don't want them to be different halfway through. That's a terrible idea. So this is the book themed one, which I thought was pretty cool. This fabric's from Spotlight. There's the Count of Monte Cristo, Phantom of the Opera, The Secret. I assume that was going to be Garden. Hyde and Jekyll, Pride and Prejudice. You know, I've actually read most of those books. It's weird that amuses me, but here we are. Alright, in half. We want it properly in half, not half-assedly in half. You'll notice. In half again. The towels are different sizes. It is what it is. Well, I'm hoping that these will be a new staple. But honestly, you can never really tell. The first market I did, I sold nothing but like crazy amounts of bags. And then since then, it's been a pretty even split between bags and jewelry. I am kind of hoping that with Christmas coming up, a lot of people are going to get into the jewelry thing a bit more. Especially like pendants and stuff. Which is why I'm so bummed that my order of pendants went missing. It's just rude. They delivered it to a number 8 house, just not my number 8 house. I found a kangaroo, and they were all stainless steel charms, and I spent a small fortune. They won't give me my refund. It all just sucks. Right, under we go. Tuck it in. We're all very professional about just shoving it in there. There's not really a right or wrong answer for how you want to do it, because I'm not the boss of you. I do about 1/2 inch. You are welcome to shove more in, or less. I wouldn't recommend less, but you totally could. Yoink. I've also done this the wrong way. Not that it matters, but like it might to you, because I'm now having the whole bulk in the machine, not out of it. Keep that in mind. It just feels differently weird to sew on the other side. It's not impossible to do, but food for thought nonetheless. Stop, needle down, pivot, and down. Up the hill because of the toweling and backstitch. Another one bites the dust. Ding, ding, ding. Another one bites the dust. Alright, we've got 3 to go. I don't know what colour, because I don't have mustard thread, is the first sentence I need to say. So I'm not sure what colour thread I want to do for that. The other 2 are getting green. I've got a zombie princess, a zombie pinup, and Lord of the Rings. And then this one, maybe purple? I don't know. Bags are much more fun for me, but these towels sell. Yeah, I enjoy bags. I need to make some more bags this week. I'm happy to do more videos this week, but please be aware at least one of them is probably going to be an Empress. Empress is quite popular for me. I can't help it. It just is. That's a different colour. That's a different colour. Jesus. Actually, that's a really cool colour for the zombie. Don't know if I like it for that one. I'm also trying to use up bobbins I already have. It's a bit of a problem because they're all fairly full. And none of them are this green, which is just rude. So I think, no, that's different. Whatever, let's do zombie one first. I've only got so many bobbins. And on this machine, half of them are split between the green, between bag and then clothing. I think I missed it. How do you fold the towels? I'll show you again in a minute. Stick around. Give me a sec. Oh, whoops. I've colour blocked them to make my life a bit easier. But I'm folding them in half and then to find the center. And then I go out and then back in on itself so that the edges match. I'll show you because I don't think that my description was very good. And yes, I always just feed it through like that. I am lazy. I am not rethreading this machine every time I change color, especially with how many colors I'm changing in this one video. My suggestion would be, if you're going to make these, make a few with the same color thread. If I had more blue towels, I absolutely would have done more blue, but you know, it is what it is. So I matched her on both sides. Just because to use the other one would have wasted too much fabric while fussy cutting. I don't like wasting fabric. I fussy cut when I have to, but I don't always love doing it. Needle down, pivot, down. May as well sew all of these. Now this is cotton canvas, so this one's going to be thicker, and same as the horse. The horse I can sew. What you could do if you wanted to is sew all of them, turn all of them, and then just change thread for top stitching, which is what I'm going to do for these last 3. And this is just a normal sewing thread. You don't need your bag thread for this. You can use it if you want to, and I might end up doing that for the horse towel, but you don't need it. grab the last one, right sides together. So this is the cotton canvas as well. So these ones will just sit stiffer. It's not a big deal. Alright, true production sewing would be to sew all the tops at the same time, but whatever. Options. Whatever makes you more comfortable. I have a friend that like cuts 20 things and then sews each one step 20 times. My brain doesn't work like that. I need to be a little bit more finished. You have Alanda. All right, let me cut these and then I'll show you how I fold the towels. And then after this, I've got to go and do all my running around. I actually don't mind doing a live first thing on a Monday. I used to do it Tuesday, but this is working out all right. Right. Nearly threw that on the floor. It went skidding a bit further than I anticipated. I also wouldn't necessarily mind buying a few more tea towels and having a few more options. Because I do have quite a lot of nice fabrics. Like if I got more blue towels, I've got Alice in Wonderland fabric there. Although maybe I should make a bag out of it first and only make these out of scraps. Which is what I've done so far. They're so pretty. So this fabric, the Zombie Pinup Girl, is my Ragabrash traveling overnight bag with a matching set. I made an echidna, which is my version of like a men's toiletry bag. And I made a large hussy case that I put my makeup in because it fits like essentials. I don't take like a suitcase of makeup with me. I take like 3 brushes, foundation, mascara, blush, and 1 eyeshadow palette. And maybe liquid liner. And then sometimes not. And that's it. It's Sunday night there. It's I'm so glad you like it, Alana. I'm glad I can be entertaining. Yeah, it's Monday morning here. I'm definitely, oh no, see, I've cut too close. That's annoying. Or it might actually, I don't think it was that. I think I didn't back stitch it. And so now it's coming undone. These things happen, ladies and gentlemen. And then I get overexcited and do too much just to make sure it won't come undone again. But whatever. What are you going to do? Oop. In we go. Push it along the seam and it brings it out. I don't know if you saw that. Right, along the seam, but gently, because you can, and I have, stabbed this through a seam. A lot more than, you know, one should. Anyway, it's fine. Right, pinch it. So, the way I do it in a Tory pocket is I put my fingers in, pinch underneath, and then tuck that much under. It works every time. Then, you just finger press it, or you can iron it. If you've got space for your little mini heat press, you could use that as an iron and do that. I don't have space. That's fine. All right, how to fold the towel. So we're going to open it out. These have a back and a front. So we want the back together so it's hidden. All right, in half. Make sure it's properly in half all the way down. You can iron these if you want to. If I wasn't live, I might iron them. But if we're being very honest, I also probably won't. What are you going to do? All right. Fold it in half the other way to find the center point. I'll put a pin so that we can all see what I'm doing. Right, that's the center there. Then we grab this, and if you want, you can put a pin in the center. So join the two side seams, pinch out, that's the center there. Let's put a pin just so you can all very clearly see what's happening. Line the pins up, right? Pin to pin. That's the middle of the towel and the middle of the top. Move your clips before you knock them, because we all know that I'm going to. Right, pins are joined up. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold it at this edge here all the way over, so that when it goes in, it's actually going to fit, right? And then fold it back so this edge lines up with the edge. So it's going to overlap right in the middle, right? Pull it away, add a pin or three or a clip or whatever floats your boat. We're going to do pins so I can very clearly show you what's going on. Right? Pin. Join that up. We're going to add a second pin. You want it to sit evenly along the top, otherwise it'll gape in the middle. We don't want that. Right, bring this back, line up middle to middle, which are those middle yellow and green pins like that. And then we're going to fold this side into the center, making sure that it's going to fit in, right? And then just fold it back so that the edges line up like that. So there is an overlap in the middle. I will add more pins and then I can show you that nice and clear. And this is the back. I decided. You could have it as the front if you want. I've decided it's the back. Right? Ow! Ow. Did you all see that? I absolutely just stabbed myself in the finger to the point where it pulled the pin out. Good job, me. Alright, so, see in the middle, it's got overlap. This is no longer dead center because I had to take it out to join everything. But you can see the edges of the towel go all the way to the edge, and then it's just got this fancy fold. Now this will look neater if you iron it later, and it'll sit the way you want it to. But from the front, it's just a smooth towel, and then from the back, it's got a little pleat. An overlapping pleat, but a pleat nonetheless. At 1/8 of an inch, we are going to essentially top stitch all the layers together so that they don't move before we shove them in the towel, because it's easier and I'm lazy. No if, buts, or maybes about it, ladies and gentlemen. I am lazy. I mainly only pinned that for you guys, right? So pinned, I missed a little bit, but it'll be fine. Then pick whichever way is your top. Mine is the same on both sides, so it doesn't matter. We're going to have the top of the towel facing up so that the top stitching is on the top. All things top, and then just shove this in and it should fit, and we want it 1/2 inch. Yoink. Like that. And again, if you want to add pins, what you want to do is you want to stab in and then point the pin towards the sky. Right? Like that. You can add more pins if you want to. Sometimes though, pins are more of a hindrance than a help. And then I'm going to always, in every single one of these towels, I sew across the bottom first. Hold the towel in place. Right, needle down, pivot, up the side. Nice straight edges. And again, you can iron all of this if that makes you happy. And then I'm top stitching 1/8 of an inch all the way around because it looks pretty and it helps with the ironing situation later. I personally hate ironing. By top stitching, it makes the ironing much, much easier. Needle down, pivot, down the straight. Remembering at this end bit, you're going up a hill and then back stitch. And that's it. She done, except for the press studs, obviously. Ah. Next, pop that over there. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Hi Hazel, welcome, welcome. Alright, push it through, twist it. Oh no, wait, that's that one. I don't want that one. I want the other green one, which was Lord of the Rings, and it fell in the bin as opposed to on the floor, so that's like a step up for me. can also use hand towels for this, for bathrooms. If it was a hand towel that I was doing and not a tea towel, I would, in the center bit, I would do an embroidery. I don't know why hand towels need embroidery and tea towels don't, but there you have it. In my head, that's what happens. So if I was going to do hand towels, which I still might, who knows with me, I would be... Oh, look at it. I would be doing an embroidery on the bottom center. Just like a little 4x4 design. You wouldn't want to go too big. I mean, you could. I wouldn't go more big than 5x7 though, with 7 being the tall part. Because then you're taking up too much of the hand towel. And again, this is all just my plans. You can do whatever you want. Alright. Boom. Folded, mostly. Let's fold the towel. You can leave it the way they are folded if that's your thing. But I'm trying to have them all uniformly the same. Line up that bottom edge. Lay it down. Fold it in half. Center. I am eyeballing the center. What are you going to do? In and out. And in. And out. And stitch. It's the wrong green. How much is that going to annoy my brain is the real question here. And will anybody but me notice? It's an interesting conundrum, because right there I can't tell. I also probably could have done black with how dark it is. Might be alright. So, front is the smooth bit. Again, once you iron it, that little crease will go away. I'm really not too worried about it. If you do want to iron them, maybe iron them before we start all of this. I don't know. I'm not the boss of you, right? I really need to design a shirt that says that, because it is so true. Everything I show you is my interpretation. It is not the only way for things to be done. I know for a fact some people don't build stuff the same way as me, but we all get to the same ending, and that's kind of what counts. Straight bit, get a bit faster. And down. Slowly back stitch because it's thick. We don't need to break a needle. Ta-da! Alright. Finish turning this through. Ugh, got an itchy nose. Poke the corners out gently. Very gently. Oh. Purple would be ideal. We're going to use this one. This one, I don't want to. And I know I sound like a petulant child. I'll tell you why I don't want to. To use this thread, I have to change the needle. I don't want to. I'm aware of how lazy I'm being, alright? I hear myself. What about rose? It's the right... Okay, so I understand that there is no rose-coloured anything here. However, it's the right palette tone. Look at it. It matches surprisingly well, considering the colour's not even on there. So that's what we're going to do. I once saw a thing way back when I first got on Pinterest. And rose, grey, and then there was like another colour, goes with everything. I didn't make the rule. I saw it in a thingy. That's very, very amusing. So I went out and bought rose colored thread, and I've barely used it in all that time, and it's finally come in handy. So that's pretty exciting for me. Tie on the old one to the new one. Grab it just before the needle and pull. Ta-da! Machine threaded. And okay, I waste half a meter of thread, but I save myself 5 minutes from having to like rethread everything. Blech, who wants to play that game? Not I, said the fly. Not me, said the flea. My brain's insane. Just ignore it. We're all fine. Chirp. Pull it up. Fold over those edges. So again, this is probably not the right crowd for the dark side market. However, one of their friends, relatives, whatever, might be into horses. So it might sell to them. With Christmas coming up, nothing is out of the realm of possibility when it comes to what might sell. So I can afford to be a little bit more flexible with it all, but also, like, I have the fabric here, so I need to use it up eventually. I'm under the assumption that the last bag I make with that stuff will most likely sell on my website, because my website's going to be a little bit more diversifying. Also, there's random threads on here, which I'm not cool with, so I'm just cutting them off. It does happen from time to time. I'm not really a fan of the mustard color at all. I'm not sure why I ever purchased this, unless I needed the other colors. However, in saying that, this would suit a sunflower fabric, because they've got that whole brown, yellow shades thing going on. So if they were into sunflowers, this is the perfect moment for that. All right, one. We don't care so much about the middle once it's lined up as we do about the two edges. Right, ladle down, under we go. 1/8 of an inch. You can do 1/4 of an inch because we're shoving in the 1/2 inch, but I just like to do it close to the edge. Also, mustard, rose, look how much you can't see it. Oh, you can't really see it at all, but like, it weirdly blends in a lot. Light grey rose, and there was one other colour that went with that, and it goes for everything. It's quite fascinating, actually. Probably why I keep bringing it up. My brain is fascinated. All right, shoved under. Make sure that the back is tucked in. All right. I really love watching you sew. Love the way you describe everything. It's essentially word vomit that comes out of me. I know that. But, you know, sometimes there's some really cool tips in there. Okay, that, I can already tell, is misbehaving. I don't know why. It just is. Because it's a jerk. Chop it all off. Can I get a raise of comments, or likes, or whatever? How many people I have convinced to buy a laser? I'm really just curious at this point. Doesn't matter what brand. Any laser. Because if I've convinced you, I should maybe do more laser videos than I do. I know Sandra got one. I wish. Yeah, but it's on your mind. straight bit, you can tell I get faster. Backstitch. Trim off all those weird tails. Okay, so it weirdly blends even though the colour's not technically on there. The stupid things my brain knows. There's another one. Ha 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 ha. I'm looking into buying one because of you. They are so fun. And again, between sewing and a laser, you can literally hand make for everyone on the planet. Now let me get my cam presses and the dye box because we need to change them over as well. And then we're good to go. Oh my god, that's heavy. Not the dye box. My other arm that's dragging all of this. Woo! Heavy. They are a bit of an investment, the old laser. But I am so weirdly obsessed. Alright, so here's where we run into like a little bit of a problem that I'm going to solve by myself. When you buy the die set, you get one base and two tops. So I'm going to take this other base that's very similar and just use that because why not? And then that way I've got one for each. And then we're going to start with the one on top. So I think we're going to go purple because I've got shades of purple and I've got a nice looking plum in here that I think goes quite nicely. So this is the colour and then this is the plum. Like perfect, right? So I'm just going to stab it in and you can literally just stab it in. Usually, maybe. If not, I'll go get my sew-all. It's also because this is the canvas stuff. And then we want the female goes up in there. And then we just squish really hard. Now you have to squish really hard with these because the whole point is it's to smush the plastic pointy bit. It does suck that I'm about to cover the horse head, but what do you do? Not much you can do. Stab it through. And again, if this is not working for you, you can totally grab a sewing awl. That's technically what they're for to begin with. Alright, then you always make sure they click together because they have been known not to. I also like to do a fairly large loop. You never know what people are putting them on. So the bigger the better. That's that one done. Next. Green just happens to be on top. It's almost like we're going in the reverse order of what I made them, but that's not deliberate. Okay, this looks very zombie green and this looks very Lord of the Rings green. So that's good. Let me get a sewing awl so I can stab the holes better. Bam. Stab. In the middle, up the top-ish, right? Lord of the Rings, love it. I know that I have a lot of Lord of the Rings fans that come, so that's good. And then there, stab a hole. Very professional. You could, if you wanted to, mark your pattern with the stabby hole. Mine didn't have it. That's why it's not on here. You know, whatever. I also do this standing up so I can put my whole weight on it. You really want to squish that down and you want to check and make sure it snaps together. Alright, zombie queen. She's not really a queen, but you get the idea. It is the good thing about having a gazillion different colors of these. I have something that matches everything. Mine snapped to the back instead. Oh, well. Too late now. I mean, they could always twist it around. Oh my god, this one's going to snap to the wrong way anyway. So there you go. That just happened. It's like you knew. People can pick whatever they decide. I don't know. The top part's the same both sides, but the towel's going the wrong way this time. Should be right. Next colour is black. There's going to be a lot of black ones. I should think black, 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 blue. Maybe one blue. The rest are going to be black. Oh, Fleetwood Mac song is stuck in my head at the moment. Not my normal ones either. I'm gonna say my brain is just insane. How much do you sell these for? $10. And I do take custom orders, but generally speaking, I use up my scrap fabrics for these. Not that they need to know that. Generally speaking, I buy whatever size piece of fabric I have. I get that, then I make a bag, and then whatever's left over, I then try to make other large but smaller things. So whether that's a wallet, or it's this, or it's a scrunchie, or it's a wristlet strap, it really just depends on how much fabric is left and what I think will sell. Did you buy the pattern? No, this was a free pattern. So I found this on Pinterest. I don't know what it is, but I typed in free towel topper sewing pattern, and then it comes up. You could also just do that in Google, right? Free towel topper sewing pattern, and up it comes. And then I made the, this, what's it called? Acrylic template in red, because I can cut red. And so then I've got a nice big hole so I can hang it up, and it's just available whenever I've got scraps. I just haven't done this for a while, so that's why we're doing so many. I had a pile of tea towels. I have decided today is the day. I've got 2 markets this weekend. I've got one on Friday night, which is about 3 hours, and then I have my normal once a month Sunday 5-hour market. So technically I have 8 hours of market with 2 different clientele. So I need as much stock as possible, and that's why I'm doing this. It's why I've made, I'll show you what else I've done. So I've started putting everything in pretty packaging. So this is a build-it-yourself mimic chest. Everything you need, instructions and all the pieces come in a bag. And I've done the same thing for reusable face wipes in a 7-pack. I'm going to put the price up here in the corner and a lot smaller so it can be removed if people want to give them as gifts. These are left over from when I used to do hardware packs. I will probably buy more of these. They're really handy. They look cute. Green's my vibe. Everyone's a winner. So I've now got 6 of these and about 8 of these so far. I've got a few more to make. But I'm trying to have a lot of stock so that I don't have to try and restock on Saturday. Because trying to restock in one day is utterly ridiculous. But I've got this week to make as much stock as possible, as well as do videos for you guys. So I'm going to be making a vixen with embroidery. I'm going to be making an empress, probably with embroidery, but also maybe not. I don't know yet. I want to make another hacked possum pouch because that one I made the other day is awesome sauce. For those that didn't see it, it's got a boxy bottom. I was quite a fan. Oh, I also have clear ones of these. So if you don't have a color that matches, I do have clear press studs. I forgot about them. Whole container of them somewhere. But no, I want to try and have a lot of stock for the weekend, and especially coming into Christmas. But I also want to try and put everything on my website. My issue is everything is basically a one-off except the laser engraved stuff. And I have to take like a gazillion photos and then edit them, which is not the part I enjoy. I didn't get into this to be a photographer, but it is something I have had to learn. You kind of have to be a jack of all trades, which funnily enough suits me pretty well. But I got my giant photo box because I suck at photos, and it's the best way to get it done, to be honest. Normally I play very loud music. I find that loud music stops me thinking about other things I would prefer to be doing. Alright, blue is the last one. I got some options of blue as well. I actually think this one is the vibe that I'm going for. See, all these things are handy. You can also pre-put these up in the machine. I once got offered to buy an electronic one of these where you stick it under and it does it, but I don't need it. And it was like $500. But those that make nappies, I see its use. Got some serious sneezes going on there, don't I? Whoop. Alright, so that is a lot of towels done in like an hour and a half. With me talking. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 towels in an hour and a half. So that's $90. So it's like what, $60 an hour? It's not bad. If you're looking at it from that kind of view. It's also great scrap buster. It's something under $20 that people can buy and feel like they've supported you. Because lots of people would love to support you, but they don't have $100 for a handbag. And I understand that, which is why I'm trying to have things, you know, that are cheaper. I'm also going to put these away. I learned the hard way what everything goes to. I can look at something and know which part of the set it is. But it did take me a little while to learn that. And by a little while, I really mean a long while. Because I dropped the box. It was a bit of trial and error when I first did it. It was a bit of a nightmare too. But I do still like to keep everything organised. It just makes everything a bit quicker. But there you go. That is today's video. I now have some stock. These are going to clip around the stuff. So let me just twist it over there. Move these out of the way. Right, so what I'll do to display these is I'll put it through there, clip it on like that, and have them kind of cascading down the side. Because I don't think that this is the vibe I'm going for. They won't sit nicely anyway, because you kind of want them to sit sideways like that. So unless I create a cardboard thing at the top to hold them, which I could do, I suppose, and then have them slot on that way, but this feels just as easy. My next problem is pricing them. I don't have a tag, like a price gun, you know, the ones that stab through clothes. So maybe I will have to do like a little cardboardy thing. I don't know yet. But there you go. The stock's there. That's half the battle sometimes. I will think about the pricing thing later. But now I have to go and do all of my running around because live video is done. Thank you all for joining me. I hope I've inspired someone to go make a towel topper. Free pattern, it's all easy enough. If you're going to make lots, laminate it, make it out of wood or acrylic. If you don't have a laser, you can cut acrylic with a jigsaw. You just need a metal blade. I've done that too. I've done all the things. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Boop, boop.